The more money you make, the more you have to pay in taxes.
Everyone's horrified when they hear of people getting away with it.
We won't take it anymore! Tax the rich, not the poor! Getting richer and richer. Order!
It's the worst part of the game. Oh, it's what?
Business, taxes. We need to learn about them today. Like, what is all this hoopla about?
Amazon is a very
sophisticated tax.
Why can't Apple pay their taxes?
Obviously, big corporations are evading taxes and exploiting loopholes, while we common folk toil at their whim, clocking in from 9 to 5, being abused by a system that was created to make the rich richer and the poor poorer. I need a soapbox. A system that takes our hard-earned money to fund poorly managed government pet projects, and for what? A water crisis in Michigan, racist police officers, and a broken healthcare system. Is that the real story, though? Yes, yeah, it kind of is, but like, why? How do you fit into this narrative, and what can you do about it? That is what we need to learn today.
And Mr. Musk has something to say about that, right?
The IRS.
Fuck. Okay, before we go into animation land, though, we need to get something straight. There's two big company tax narratives we're gonna talk about, and it would be silly to smash them together. The first is the Amazon narrative. Huge company writes off profits with standard accounting practices, pays little to no corporate tax. Then you have Apple. Huge company offshores their profits in an attempt to evade the US tax system altogether. Not the same. So it's 2018. You're watching TV and you see this.
Jeff Bezos is the richest man in the world. Amazon made $11 billion in profit, but they use tax credits and other benefits to avoid paying any federal income tax.
Okay, rewind a bit. Put us in Jeff Bezos' shoes. You run the everything store behemoth now. You're one of the first two companies in history to be worth $1 trillion. $1 trillion. But wait, what's that guy doing?
I'm signing this piece of paper. It's right here. I typed it all by myself. Look, taxes for businesses. We're 35%. I'm making them 21%. I can do that now. You know I'm the president, right? Corporations are literally going wild over this.
I've never done a Trump accent before. One take, that's all we got. Wild, indeed. The signing of the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act instantly shaved $2 billion of taxes owed off of Amazon's $11 billion profit. So look what Amazon does.
We just got all this free money, damn it. And I want to plow the rest of it into this business. I want state-of-the-art warehouses, faster planes, electric trucks, and more training for diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Good sir, all of that still won't run our profits down to $0.
Give the people more stock. We're driving this motherfucker down to nothing.
That was Jeff, not me. Okay, but pause. Hold on. Let's take a step back. Why is Jeff talking about plowing things, and how does this affect you and I? Let's look at where you fit into the story. Hey, Rick. Okay, so first, if you take away one thing from this interlude, please let it be. Not all income, money, is created equal. Not all income is created equal. Money. And nobody's gonna teach you this in school because teachers don't need to know this. Okay, not all income is created equal, and there are exactly 4 kinds of income that you can earn. Earned income. That's income you get from working a job. Teachers earn this kind of income. Portfolio income. Income you get from your Robinhood app. Passive income. Income generated from assets you own, like renting out a house. And inherited income. I like to throw that one out because you can't control it. Now, this is where things get really interesting for you. Earned income, the income you earn from working a normal job, is taxed at the highest rate. Your portfolio income has a lower capital gains tax, and passive income has all those crazy loopholes you never thought you'd be able to take advantage of. If you want to act more like a business, you need to drive earned income into the portfolio and passive income buckets. But wait, which one of these has to do with Amazon? I'm glad you asked. This is the bigger picture, and this quadrant was about you, the normal average Joe. You likely get your earned income, you take a standard deduction of life expenses when you file your taxes on TurboTax, and the government gets their cut. You're left with whatever is left over, usually nothing. But what about a business? Well, businesses don't really earn income like you and I. They generate their income like this. Profit equals revenue minus costs. They make a bunch of revenue, income. They deduct business expenses like payroll, office rent, and employee lunches, and they're left with a profit. They would get taxed on that. But wait a minute, unlike
You, yes? Not you, him.
the government doesn't take their cut here.
Small businesses are the engine of the U.S. economy.
We want businesses to grow and thrive and reinvest their profits to hire more employees. The U.S. assumes that businesses grow the proverbial pie so the economy can function and more taxes can be paid to the nation later.
They still need more workers.
More than double the number of people you have now.
Correct.
If businesses fully paid what they owed in tax, they wouldn't be able to hire, grow, and innovate. So what does Amazon do when they're left with excess profits? They drive them back into the business. More expenses. They take on debt. They start research and development on new shipping techniques. They expand their warehouses. They create a new headquarters in Virginia. They pay their executives and employees more stock, all in an attempt to drive their profits down to zero. Then there's nothing left for the government to take that year. It's called operating at a loss, and it's a completely healthy thing to do.
After spending billions of dollars on new warehouses, a move that cut into profits, analysts say Amazon may have built too much too fast.
Amazon's book income may be enormous, but their taxable income is negative. They will actually get tax credits back from the government. Totally legal. Because as Amazon grows, so does their tax obligation for property taxes, state taxes, and employee payroll taxes. They don't just get off scot-free. Okay, so that's you and Amazon. But quick aside, you're totally capable of entering this same accounting game down here. This is where I am. I have a holding company, Henry Belcaster Inc. It's an S corporation, which, by the way, is just a piece of paper in a manila envelope in a government office somewhere. It's not more complicated than that. It'll own all the businesses I start, like Clip.co. And because it's a corporation, I get to write off business expenses, like this studio. Same thing as Amazon. How do we drive our book income down to reinvest back into the business and limit our tax obligation? Fine and dandy. Now, let's shift gears. Tax narrative number 2. The more sinister, underground, shadowy narrative. One where serious loopholes are exploited and ethics are challenged. This involves one of our favorite consumer brands, Apple.
Suck motherfucking son of a bitch. Those accountants at Amazon have warehouses and truck drivers and aeroplanes and diversity and inclusion initiatives. It's so easy for them to drive their tax obligation down. We need to find a sinkhole. I mean a loophole. Don't you understand? If we don't grow, we might as well be those suckers at Dell. You and you. Don't just sit there, give me some. Okay, I has an idea. This is my Irish colleague, John. In John's country, Ireland. You know it's Ireland. In John's country, Ireland, there's almost no taxes on royalties. So, let's just get all that money there. We can start a company for you in Ireland. It's a shell corporation, cause it's like a shell. And oh yeah, they own your Apple logo now. So if you had $30 billion in profit this year, the Irish company will just bill you $30 billion as a licensing fee for all the little Apple logos on all your products. Who is this guy? That's actually brilliant.
Brilliant, yeah, but Jimbo, is this legal?
If not legal, yeah.
And you're not gonna explain?
I think you should, because
I have to explain it because you just came up. Okay, so what Jimbo accidentally stumbled upon is precisely how companies like Apple, Nike, and Google offshore their money, out of sight, out of mind in Ireland. And it's like kinda legal while the loophole exists, but then Politicians figure it out, they shut it down, and Apple has to find their next loophole. But is that fair for us hard-working Americans? Well, first, remember that what Amazon did and what Apple did aren't equal. We can't confuse the two. One exists to drive down tax obligations by investing in growth and innovation and American citizens. The other exists to backdoor maximize Apple's profits in a sneaky way to accomplish the same thing?
Is it true you told our staff you're not bringing the $100 billion home unless we reduce our tax rates? Is that accurate?
I don't remember saying that. So for Apple, it's kind of hard to say, and their case is being heard by the European Court of Justice. Now, a counterargument might be something like, well, look at all of the value that Apple creates for society. I mean, we have one of the most powerful computers on the planet in our pockets now. Apple products make it easy to connect and do business with people all over the world in real time. They power some of the most important projects known to mankind. And Apple employs 150,000 people around the world. People in China, India, and Taiwan, all the way up and down the supply chain. It's hard to even compute all the lives they touch, both directly and indirectly. But a better idea, let's focus on what we can control, a counter to the counter, so that you're not depressed every April when you file your taxes. Taxes are beautiful. Next time you go outside, look at your community through the reference frame of tax dollars, but optimistically, not pessimistically. Paved roads and street lights that automatically turn on when the sun goes down. Clean drinking water at the turn of a faucet. Public education and transportation and firefighters and paramedics. Parks and beaches, FEMA, the FDA and the FAA. NASA, the Environmental Protection Agency, and the Department of Defense. Maybe, just maybe, taxes aren't such a bad thing.